Let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we are uncovering the beautifully structured logic behind counting overlapping groups without making those incredibly frustrating errors. You know the ones. If you've ever tried to calculate a total from different categories and ended up with numbers that just don't add up, you are definitely in the right place. Imagine you're organizing a massive corporate event. You're merging spreadsheets from 3 different departments to create one master guest list. Department A gives you a list, Department B gives you a list, and Department C gives you a list. Sounds simple enough to just sum up the totals at the bottom of each spreadsheet, right? Well, the moment you do, you realize you've just invited 500 people to a venue that only safely holds 300. What exactly went wrong? You forgot about the overlap. The people who work in multiple departments got counted multiple times. So today, we're going to unlock the secret to perfect data combination and solve this exact mathematical headache once and for all. Think about the sheer chaos of trying to combine massive amounts of data without a reliable rule to handle the places where everything intersects. Just picture a classic Venn diagram where 2 overlapping circles are awkwardly smashed together. You can instantly spot the problem area right there in the middle. Let's say you're running a marketing campaign. You've got a list of customers who buy coffee and another list of customers who buy tea. If you just mash the 2 lists together to get your total number of beverage drinkers, what happens to the people who drink both? Yep, you've just counted them twice. In the business world or in rigorous scientific research, this kind of corrupted data is an absolute disaster. It leads to overblown budgets, skewed demographic studies, and fundamentally flawed conclusions. You might think your target market size is 1 million people, but it's actually half that. So the fundamental question we're dealing with is this: how do we combine overlapping sets without accidentally double counting those overlaps? Enter our mathematical hero, the Inclusion-Exclusion Principle. This is the formal mathematical method for calculating the exact size of the union of multiple sets. And it achieves this perfectly accurate count through a brilliantly simple mechanism. It alternatingly adds and subtracts their intersection sizes. It's essentially a clever built-in solution that restores balance whenever our numbers get tangled up in overlaps. And the true beauty of this principle, it isn't just that it works for a couple of small lists. It's that it acts as an absolute anchor of truth that scales up to handle data sets of almost unimaginable complexity. It is literally the definitive rulebook for untangling your data.
Section 1. Solving for 2 sets.
Let's look at this foundational equation. Now, for those brushing up on their math symbols, those straight vertical bars just mean the size or the total number of items in that specific set. So the size of A union B, which means absolutely everything in both sets combined, equals the size of A plus the size of B minus the size of A intersection B. And just to be totally clear, that intersection is simply the specific items that exist in both groups at the exact same time. This formula brilliantly illustrates the core concept at play. It's elegant, it's clean, and it perfectly maps out our logical path forward. We figure out the total of the individual pieces, and then we account for the space where they cross over. Let's actually break that formula down into 2 straightforward steps to see exactly how it functions in reality. Step 1, we over-enthusiastically include everything. Imagine we just add the entirety of our coffee drinkers to the entirety of our tea drinkers. We scoop up everyone in Group A and lump them together with everyone in Group B. But right there, as we saw earlier, we hit a massive, oops, I double-counted moment. Anyone who likes both coffee and tea, those highly caffeinated enthusiasts frequenting both shops, just got tallied twice. We suddenly have way too many people on our master list, and our budget is instantly wrong. So we immediately need step 2, exclude the overlap.
Section 2. Correcting the overlap.
We fix that overcounting with a crucial subtraction element, minus A intersection B. By deliberately subtracting the exact number of items that exist in that shared middle space, we deduct the extra unwanted tally. Since we included that middle group twice in step 1, we just take it away exactly once in step 2. It's exactly like a scale balancing perfectly. We tip the scale way too far to one side by adding too much weight, and this simple subtraction is the precise counterweight we need to bring everything back into equilibrium. Boom, our double counting is fixed, the scale is balanced, and we have a completely accurate, reliable total.
Section 3. Scaling to 3 sets.
Okay, here is the 3-set formula in all its glory. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but seriously, do not panic at this wall of math. I promise it's not as intimidating as it looks. Think of it like building a physical structure block by block. We start with the foundation, grabbing Group A, then laying down Group B, and finally adding Group C. We have all our raw materials. But because we just blindly threw all those blocks together, things are messy and overlapping, so we have to go in and carefully remove the excess material. First, we chip away the overlap between A and B. Then we carve out the overlap between A and C. And finally, we remove the overlap between B and C.
It's the exact same correction process we used for 2 sets, just expanding its reach to cover the extra dimensions. We're still just sequentially adding and subtracting to find the absolute truth in our data.
To make this crystal clear, let's break that long equation down row by row. In the first row, we add up all the single sets, A, B, and C. We're just gathering all our distinct groups. But as we know by now, we've overcounted wherever any 2 of those sets cross paths. So, moving to the second row, we systematically subtract all the possible 2-set intersections, A and B, A and C, and finally B and C. Now, at this point, you might think we're completely done balancing the books. But wait, we have one more row, a 3-set intersection that actually has a plus sign next to it. Why in the world do we need to add again, right when we thought we had finished subtracting the excess?
Well, before we answer that why, I really want you to notice the distinct rhythm of the logic here. We're looking at a direct contrast of inclusions versus exclusions. We include the single sets with a plus sign, we exclude the pair intersections with a minus sign, and then we include the triple intersection with the plus sign again. We're alternating. It's like a pendulum swinging back and forth. First, it swings far to the right as we overcount by adding too much. Then it swings far to the left as we subtract to compensate. And with each swing, the pendulum loses a bit of momentum, zeroing in closer and closer on the exact, perfect center point, which is our correct answer. It's a constant mathematical negotiation of give and take.
Section 4, the triple intersection fix. Plus A intersection B intersection C. Here is the exact reason we absolutely have to add this back. When we systematically subtracted those 3 different 2-set pairs in the previous step, we were actually a little too aggressive. Think about a standard Venn diagram with 3 circles. Any single item that belonged to all 3 sets, that highly specific group of people living in the very dead center of the diagram, got subtracted 3 separate times. By trying to trim the fat from our data, we literally hollowed out the center and essentially erased those items entirely. We accidentally created a massive pothole right in the middle of our calculation. So to patch that hole, bring those items back into existence, and make the total completely accurate, we must explicitly re-include this triple overlap. So the crucial takeaway here is this beautiful alternating pattern. 1, 2, 3. We enthusiastically add the 1-set singles. We quickly realize our mistake of double counting, so we subtract the 2-set pairs. And then we realize we went a little too far and accidentally removed the core, so we add the 3-set triple right back in. This back-and-forth correction ensures absolutely nothing is missed and absolutely nothing is counted twice. It's a brilliant system of logical balancing that guarantees your data remains pristine, no matter how many overlapping categories you throw at it. Which leads us to a really tantalizing final thought. If this rhythmic addition and subtraction perfectly balances 1, 2, and 3 sets, continually correcting its own overcounting and undercounting, how would this equation look for 4, 5, or even an infinite number of sets? The pattern is already there, perfectly mapped out in the logic we just covered, just waiting for you to extend it. Imagine the massive, intricate data puzzles you could solve with that kind of endless, elegant scalability. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep looking for the beautiful logic hidden inside your data.